Most men are terrified of the big fight. They fear the screaming, the shattered plates, the dramatic ultimatums. They think that is how a marriage ends. But they couldn't be more wrong. Real heartbreak doesn't make a sound. It happens in the middle of a Tuesday afternoon, while she's folding laundry or staring out the kitchen window. It's the moment she stops asking for your time. The moment she stops complaining about the dishes. The moment she finally becomes silent. By the time you notice the silence, she isn't just unhappy. She's already gone. You're just the last person to find out. Meet Elena and Thomas. 10 years of marriage. They were the couple people pointed to at dinner parties. Thomas was a good man, by every traditional standard. He worked 50 hours a week, he never missed a mortgage payment, and he was home every night by 6. He believed that being a provider was the same thing as being a partner. Thomas had a simple philosophy. If there's no screaming, there's no problem. He viewed Elena's attempts to talk about us as a chore to be managed. When she'd say, "Tom, I feel like we're just passing each other in the hallway," he'd offer a logical solution. "We see each other every night, Elena. We're fine. You're just stressed." Elena, on the other hand, was the emotional anchor of the house. She wasn't just managing the kids and the calendar, she was managing the connection. She was the one who noticed when their conversations became purely transactional. She was the one who kept trying to pull him back from the shore of his own indifference. For years, Elena was the loud one. She was the one who pushed for therapy, the one who sent him articles on the mental load, the one who cried when he forgot their anniversary. Thomas saw this as emotional instability. He didn't realize that her tears were actually the lifeblood of their relationship. They were proof that she still had skin in the game. She was fighting because she still believed there was something worth saving. The shift didn't happen overnight. It was a slow erosion. But the first crack became a canyon on a cold Friday in November. Thomas had promised for weeks that they would have a no-phones night. Just them, a bottle of wine, and a conversation that didn't involve the kids or the budget. Elena had spent the afternoon looking forward to it. She felt a glimmer of the old spark. Thomas walked in at 7 p.m. He didn't see the candles. He didn't see the dress. He walked straight to the fridge, opened a beer, and said, "Man, what a day. Miller called a late meeting. I've got to be on a conference call in 20 minutes. Can we just do pizza and a movie?" Elena stood there, the match still warm in her hand. She waited for the familiar surge of anger. She waited for the lump in her throat to turn into a lecture about his priorities. But then, nothing happened. The anger didn't come. The lump in her throat simply dissolved into a cold, hard stone.
"Sure, Tom. Pizza sounds 5.
She blew out the candles. She didn't cry. She didn't even look disappointed. Thomas felt a wave of relief. Finally, he thought, she's starting to understand how busy I am. She's finally mellowing out. He had no idea that at that moment, Elena had just checked out of the marriage. She had decided to stop being the only person keeping the fire lit. What followed was what Thomas would later call the best 6 months of our marriage. There were no more talks. No more nagging. No more crying about being lonely. Thomas felt like he'd finally cracked the code. He'd won. He even started giving advice to his friends. Just stay consistent, guys. Eventually, they stopped complaining and things get easy. But the suspense was building in the things Elena wasn't doing. She started going to the gym at 5 a.m., alone. She started taking weekend trips with her sisters, trips she used to invite Thomas on, but didn't anymore. She was building a life that didn't require him. Thomas began to notice a strange phenomenon. When he did something that used to annoy her, like leaving his gym bag in the middle of the kitchen or staying out late without calling, she didn't react.
"Hey, sorry about the bag, El. I'll move it."
"It's fine, Tom. I didn't even notice."
He began to realize that her niceness felt hollow. It was the politeness you give to a stranger in an elevator. He started to feel a creeping sense of dread. He'd look across the couch and see her laughing at a text on her phone. But when he'd ask, "What's funny?" she'd just say, "Nothing, just a work joke." And the smile would vanish instantly. He tried, for the first time in years, to initiate a connection. He brought home flowers. He suggested a date.
That's sweet, Tom, but I actually have a book club meeting tonight. Maybe next week?
The next week never came. Thomas was starting to realize that the silence he loved was actually the sound of his wife grieving him while he was still in the room. She was doing the hard work of letting go, the crying, the anger, the detachment, all while he thought they were doing great. The silent exit hit the wall on a random Tuesday morning. Thomas woke up to find the house quiet. Usually, Elena was a whirlwind of activity. He walked into the kitchen. The coffee was made. A single folder was sitting on the island. Elena was sitting at the table, her coat already on. No suitcase was in sight.
Elena? What's this? Are we going somewhere?
Elena looked at him. Not with hate. Not with anger. But with a profound, terrifying indifference.
I'm going somewhere, Tom. The papers are in the folder. I've already put a deposit on an apartment. I'll be back for my things when you're at work on Thursday.
Thomas felt the world tilt. He started the fixer routine. He did what every man does when he realizes he's lost the game.
Wait, what? Apartment? Papers? Elena, we haven't fought in months. We've been doing so well. I thought we were finally in a good place. I'll change. I'll go to therapy. I'll take the month off.
Tom, you're not listening. We haven't fought because I stopped caring enough to argue. You thought the silence meant peace. I was actually just packing my heart away, piece by piece, so it wouldn't hurt so much when I finally walked out the door. I asked you for years to see me. You only started seeing me when I became a problem to be solved. I don't want to be a problem, Tom. I just want to be gone.
Thomas spent the next few weeks in a house that felt like a tomb. He realized that Elena hadn't left him that Tuesday morning. She had left him 3 years ago, during all those nights he chose his phone over her voice. She had left him during all those peaceful months where he thought he was winning. He learned the hardest lesson a man can learn. Indifference is more dangerous than anger. Anger can be negotiated with. Anger means there is still heat, still passion, still a desire for things to be better. But indifference? Indifference is the cold ash after the fire has gone out. Thomas didn't fight the divorce. He finally did the one thing she'd been asking him to do for a decade. He respected her enough to listen to her silence. Men, pay attention to the noise in your relationship. If she's complaining about the dishes, she's actually asking for your help. If she's asking for a date night, she's actually asking for your heart. The day she stops nagging isn't a victory, it's a countdown. Don't wait for the suitcase to realize you're losing her. Because by the time she tells you she's leaving, she's already been gone for a long time. Thomas thought silence was peace until it turned into a divorce. Have you ever felt your partner checking out mentally? What was the moment you realized it was too late? Let's talk about it in the comments below.